In this short showcase, I'm going to be demonstrating some of the capabilities of Keynote in particular for using animation effects on text. So here you are, a screen that articulates one of the Bible verses that I might be exploring. I also talk about show within shows in a separate video. We're not going to do that right now. So here we have a graphic and a text box down at the bottom, which is Proverbs 22 verse 6. Now, that's the holding screen. The second slide is the one that's got all the animation on it, and you can see there the build order suddenly populates with all sorts of material. I'll show you how it works first and then quickly talk through it. There you are. So we've just had rotate, move and scale, and we've had the text box disappear, and then if I continue to click, you'll see the 3 points that emerge using a kind of lens flare effect. And that's a pretty clean, nice looking slide, and then a page turn to the next slide. So you can see there some of the effects, the rotation, the movement, the scaling, the moving, and the lens flare, and so on. Pretty complicated. It takes some time to set up just right, but it's worth doing for maximum impact. The second example here is really shifting the text around. So you're going to see all of this become animated very, very shortly. So let's just play through it. You can see some of the effects. So how do you know anything about God? Nice image of image of God lifting up. How do you know, for example, that the Father is not the Son, is not the Spirit, is not the Father, but all of them are God? The three are one. So a lot of complicated effects on that. How do you know that God is love? And then cut to a stock image that reflects the hands, and so on. What's gone on there? Again, a lot of movement in terms of shifting things around. You can see these lines are lines that I create. When you select the move tool, it then gives you the kind of motion that text is going to take. This is pretty elaborate. You can see here all sorts of lines that I've created well off the slide, and that's the key thing. To do what I've just done, you have to send the movement of the item off the screen and back onto the screen. Pretty complicated. This slide just here, let's just work through the next two. I've made a composite of 3 different images. You'll be able to see, if you look carefully enough around the child, that it's 3 separate images, but I've only used one of the overall backgrounds. I could have been tighter with alpha and things, but this was just easier to do, but an effective tool. Stop before you start. What's interesting here is the stop sign within the letters STOP. What I did was I wrote out stop in the font, and then I just added in the stop sign and grouped it as one item, and so then it shifts together. It's a nice effect. The final one I want to show you again has got a really Prezi feel to it. So it starts with scripture, move to tradition, I can talk through that, move across to own baggage, and finally to penetrate cultures. When we take a step back, we see that the stop model by my colleague Colin Bennett is in the shape of a cross. Nice.